Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Puri Vrajakacharya Ashtotar Sutta Shri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mayi Ki Jai Jamuna Mayi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande Hari Haribo. Hare Krishna, and welcome everyone for Sri Caitanya Caritamrita with His Holiness Jayādvaita Swami. It is Thursday, April 10th, 2025 in New York. And according to my notes, we are starting today with Adi Lila, chapter 13, text number 57. And whoever would like to read and or comment, please send a note in the chat so that we can know. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And so texts 57 and 58 are together. This chapter is called The Advent of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the CC. Sapta Mishra Tanra Putra Sapta Rishishvara Kangsari Paramananda Padmadava Sarveshvar Jagannatha Janardana Trilokyanath Nadiyate Gangavasa Kaila Jagannath. Upendra Mishra had 7 sons, who were all saintly and most influential. 1. Kangsari, 2. Paramananda, 3. Padmanabha, 4. Sarveshvara, 5. Jagannatha, 6. Janardana, and 7. Trilokyanath. Jagannath Mishra, the 5th son, decided to reside on the bank of the Ganges at Nadia. Jagannatha Mishra Vara Padavi Purandara Nanda Vasudeva Rupa Sadguna Sagara. Jagannath Mishra was designated as Purandara. Exactly like Nanda Maharaj and Vasudev, he was an ocean of all good qualities. Tanrapatni Shachinama Pativrata Sati Yanrapita Nilambara Nama Chakravarti. His wife, Srimati Shachidevi, was a chaste woman highly devoted to her husband. Shachidevi's father's name was Nilambara, and his surname was Chakravarti. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes in his Anubhashya, in the Gaura Ganadesha Deepika 104, it is mentioned that Nilambara Chakravarti was formerly Garga Muni. Some of the family descendants of Nilambara Chakravarti still live in the village of the name Magdoba in the district of Faridpur in Bangladesh. His nephew was Jagannath Chakravarti, also known as Mamu Thakur, who became a disciple of Pandit Goswami and stayed at Jagannath Puri as the priest of Tota Gopinath. Nilambar Chakravarti lived at Navadvip in the neighborhood of Belapukuria. This fact is mentioned in the book Prema Vilas. Because he lived near the house of the Kazi was also considered one of the maternal uncles of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Kazi used to address Nilambara Chakravarti as Kaka, or uncle. One cannot separate the residence of the Kazi from Vamanapukur because the tomb of the Kazi is still existing there. Formerly, the place was known as Belapukuria, and now it is called Vamanapukura. This has been ascertained by archaeological evidence. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Typically, when Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's Anubhashya commentaries are presented in the CC. I find it a matter of simply listening and accepting. I did find it interesting in this last portion of that commentary for this verse, where he's describing the history of Nilambar Chakravarti in relationship to the Kazi, and also mentioning the Kazi Samadhi, where it was in one town and then the town changed its name. And he says, this has been ascertained by archaeological evidence. I just found that interesting because typically we accept our praman as shabda in the line of devotional service, but Srila Bhaktisiddhanta here says that not only do we do that, but here the fact of this person's residential place has also been ascertained by archaeological evidence, and we don't typically put so much emphasis on archaeological evidence when presenting the facts of the past in parampara, but I just thought it was curious that he brings that out. And Maharaj, we'd of course love to hear from you at any point.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashrita Deshtanam. As I recall, Srila Jiva Goswami gives a sort of larger inventory of methods of evidence than the three we usually hear about. Ordinary sense perception is also kind of evidence. It's just inferior to Shabda, but it's also there. Yeah. Anyway, we'll go into that. But yes, so the archaeological evidence is given a certain credence. I think the context here, as far as I know, is that the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was disputed, even up to the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. There were the people who were claiming that what's now, that in Navadip town, it was the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ascertained from when here it says archaeological evidence, especially it means, as far as I know, that he consulted the various maps and other such things to which he had access, apart from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, where this evidence comes from, that the place of the Kaji was there at what's now, or is there at what's now Bhamanpur Court. Just going back a few verses, Jagannath Mishra was also known as Purandar. Vasudeva, the father of Lord Krishna, was also known as Purandar. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Yes, just to underscore what you were saying, I was listening to part of the lecture series on the Tattva Sandarbha by Gopi Pranadhana Prabhu, in which the evidences that we accept in the line of devotion are delineated and ranked. And Shabda reigns supreme as far as accepting the truth from the perfect source, transcendental truth. But it's also stated that when there's empirical evidence that supports that, then we accept the empirical evidence, and it's worth talking about.
From my meager readings in the topic, in medieval times, it was also understood in discourse concerning theology, especially, that or anything intellectual discussions, there had to be some authority for what you were saying. If not scripture, then Aristotle or Plato, some authority had to be there. You couldn't just say things. So they may have been inferior authorities, but they were quoted. they were quoted. So here we have, again, inferior authority, but it's authority. It's not just, well, off the top of my head. Our process, the process of knowledge really is to hear from authority, the best process of knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Jai, thank you. And Prabhin Krishna Prabhu offers that one can still visit the tomb of the Kazi with full kirtan party and devotional clothing. It is one of the parikrama spots. Maharaj, you're muted, sorry.
That guarantee was given by the Kaji that my descendants also have to honor my word that the kirtan will always be able to go on. And it's going on.
Jai. Saraswati Mata, would you like to read our text 61?
Pranams Param Pujya Maharaj and all the Vaishnavas. Text 61. Radha Deshe Janmila Thakur Nityananda Gangadasa Pandita Gupta Murari Mukunda. Translation. In Radha Desh, the part of Bengal where the Ganges is not visible, Nityananda Prabhu, Gangadas Pandit, Murari Gupta and Mukunda took birth. Purport. Here, Radha Desh refers to the village of the name Ekchakra in the district of Birbhum next to Burdwan. After the Burdwan railway station, there is another branch line which is called the Loop Line of the Eastern Railway, and there is a railway station of the name Malarupura. 8 miles east of this railway station, Ekchakra village is still situated. Ekchakra village extends north and south for an area about 8 miles. Other villages, namely Virchandrapura and Virbhadrapura, are situated within the area of the village of Ekchakra. In honor of the holy name of Virbhadra Goswami, these places are renowned as Virchandrapura and Virbhadrapura. In the Bengali year 1331 AD 1924, a thunderbolt struck the temple of Ekchakra Gram. Therefore, the temple is now in a broken state. Before this, there were no such accidents in that quarter. Within the temple, there is a deity of Sri Krishna established by Sri Nityananda Prabhu. The name of the deity is Bakima Rai or Bake Rai. On Bakima Rai's right side is a deity of Janava, and on his left side is Srimati Radharani. The priests of the temple describe that Lord Nityananda Prabhu entered within the body of Bakima Rai, and that the deity of Janva Mata was therefore later placed on the right side of Bakima Rai. Afterwards, many other deities were installed within the temple. On another throne within the temple are deities of Murlidhar and Radha Madhava. On another throne are deities of Manomohana, Vrindavan Chandra and Gauranitai, but Bakima Rai is the deity originally installed by Nityananda Prabhu. On the eastern side of the temple is a ghat known as Kadamba Khandi on the bank of a river called Yamuna, and it is said that the deity of Bakima Rai was floating in the water, and Lord Nityananda Prabhu picked him up and then installed him in the temple. Thereafter, in a place known as Bhadrapura, in the village of Virchandrapura, about half a mile west, in a place underneath a neem tree, Srimati Radharani was found. For this reason, the Radharani of Bakima Rai was known as Badapurara Tukrani, the mistress of Badpura. On another throne, on the right side of Bakima Rai, is a deity of Yogamaya. Now the temple and temple corridor rest on a high plinth, and on a concrete structure in front of the temple is a kirtan hall. It is also said that on the northern side of the temple there was a deity of Lord Shiva named Bandishvara, and that the father of Nityananda Prabhu, Hadai Pandita, used to worship that deity. At present, however, the Bandishvara deity is missing, and in his place a Jagannath Swami deity has been installed. Lord Nityananda Prabhu did not factually construct any temples. The temple was constructed at the time of Virbhadra Prabhu. In the Bengali year 1298, AD 1891, a brahmachari of the name Shivananda Swami repaired the temple, for it had become dilapidated. In this temple, there is an arrangement to offer food to the deity on the basis of 17 seers, about 34 pounds of rice and necessary vegetables. The present priestly order of the temple belongs to the family of Gopijana Valbhananda, one of the branches of Nityananda Prabhu. There is a land settlement in the name of the temple, and income from this land finances the expenditures for the temple. There are 3 parties of priestly Goswamis who take charge of the temple management, one after another. A few steps from the temple is a place known as Vishramatala, where it is said that Nityananda Prabhu in his childhood used to enjoy sporting with his boyfriends by enacting the Rasa Leela and various other pastimes of Vrindavan. Would you like me to stop or continue?
Thank you. We can see, Maharaj, if you have anything to say so far.
Just one comment that the place mentioned here in the verse, moving to the verse, Rardesh, Janmila Thakur Nityananda. This Rardesh has nothing to do with Radharani, with Srimati Radharani. We hear typically Radhadesh. And I think our temple in Belgium is named that way, sort of from a misunderstanding. But there's a different spelling here. It's a different word. Rardesh means where the Ganges doesn't flow in Bengal. And there's no connection with Srimati Radharani. Hare Krishna.
Near the temple is a place named Amalitala, which is so named because of a big tamarind tree there. According to a party named Nadadi Sampradaya, Virbhadra Prabhu, with the assistance of 1200 Nedas, Buddhist monks, dug a great lake of the name Sweta Ganga. Outside of the temple are tombs of the Goswamis, and there is a small river known as Modishvara, which is called the water of Yamuna. Within half a mile from this small river is the birthplace of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. It appears that there was a big Kirtan hall in front of the temple, but later it became dilapidated. It is now covered by banyan trees. Later on, a temple was constructed within which Gaura Nityananda deities are existing. The temple was constructed by the late Prasan Kumar Karfarma. A tablet was installed in his memory in the Bengali year 1323, AD 1916, in the month of Vaishakha, April-May. The place where Nityananda Prabhu appeared is called Garbhavash. There is an allotment of about 43 bighas, 14 acres of land, to continue the worship in a temple there. The Maharaj of Dina Japur donated 20 bighas of land, about 6.5 acres, in this connection. It is said that near the place known as Garbhavash, Hadai Pandit conducted a primary school. The priests of this place, listed in a genealogical table, were as follows. 1. Sri Raghava Chandra. 2. Jagadananda Das. 3. Krishna Das. 4. Nityananda Das. 5. Ram Das. 6. Vraj Mohan Das. 7. Kanai Das. 8. Gauradas. 9. Shivananda Das. And 10. Haridas. Krishna Das belonged to the Chidya Kunj at Vrindavan. The date of his disappearance is Krishna Janmashtami. Chidya Kunj is a place now managed by the Goswamis of Shringar Ghat in Vrindavan. They are also known as belonging to the Nityananda family, most probably on the basis of their relationship with Krishnadas. Near Garbhavas is a place called Bakula Tala, where Sri Nityananda Prabhu and his boyfriends used to take part in sporting activities known as Japat. There is a Bakul tree there that is wonderful because all its branches and sub-branches look like the hoods of serpents. It has been suggested that by the desire of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Anantadev manifested himself in that way. Anantadev manifested himself in that way. The tree is very old. It is said that formerly it had 2 trunks, but later on, when the playmates of Nityananda Prabhu felt inconvenience in jumping from the branches of one trunk to those of the other, Nityananda Prabhu, by his mercy, merged the 2 trunks into one. Another place nearby is named Hantugada. It is said that Lord Nityananda Prabhu brought all the holy places there. Therefore, the people in the surrounding villages go there instead of to the Ganges to take a bath. It is named Hantugada because Srila Nityananda Prabhu used to perform the Dadi Chida festival of distributing chipped rice with yogurt prasadam there, and he took the prasadam kneeling down. A sanctified lake in this place is always full of water throughout the year. A great fair is held there during Gostastami, and there is another big fair on the birthday of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. In the Gora Gandesha Tipika, it is described that Halyuda, Baldev, Vishwarupa, and Shankarshan appeared as Nityananda Avadut. Om Gyanantimirindasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. I just seem to recall about Ek Chakras. I don't know if I'm recalling this correctly, but I thought the Ek Chakra was a place named because during the Kurukshetra battle, when Arjuna was being severely attacked by Bhishma Pita, Krishna, even though he had taken a vow that he wouldn't take up any weapons, did take a wheel seemingly to attack Bhishma Pita. And if I recall correctly, I think where that wheel landed became the place Ek Chakra. And also I remember when the Pandavas were in exile, not after losing the gambling match, but before that, before that, because Kunti Mata was with them, when they were sort of wandering around incognito after the Lakshagre, they came to this village, Ek Chakra, and there was, if I remember, there was a demon there who, somebody in the village had to volunteer one person to be eaten by this demon, and Kunti Mata said, "Oh, Bhim will go." And all the villagers were quite surprised that somebody was actually volunteering rather than being picked. Bhima actually defeated the demon. And so I remember that Ek Chakra village, and maybe that might have also been one of the villages that when Krishna went as a messenger to try and mediate the differences between the Kaurus and the Pandavas, he said that maybe Ek Chakra was one of the 5 villages that Lord Krishna asked for. And this festival, Dadi we say dahi, which is yogurt with chipped rice. This festival was, I think, took place during the months when it was very hot, because the ingredients have a cooling effect, yogurt and rice. And I think that what was one of the Goswamis, it could have been Raghunath Das Goswami, if I remember, he met Lord Nityananda for the first time, offered his obeisances, and Lord Nityananda asked him to observe this festival, and also blessed him that very soon he'll receive the shelter of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Just some of the things I sort of recall about this festival. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mata Maharaj. If you have anything you'd like to add there.
Yeah, it appears that there was more than one Jayādvaita Mahotsav, because the one arranged by Raghunath Das was in Panihati, which is quite well distant enough from Ekachakra. There must have been different festivals. This suggests that our ISKCON temples can perform one or more Jayādvaita festivals to please Lord Nityananda Prabhu and engage the public. Yes, that incident is there with Ekachakra and Bhim and Bakasura. I don't know that it was the same Ekachakra, though. There's so many places in India that have the same name across different states or even different parts of the state. So I don't know whether these Ekachakras were the same Ekachakra. Maybe somebody has information about that, but I don't. Hare Krishna.
All right, Krishna.
I have a question, or rather, maybe Maharaj can let me know. But Mukunda, is this the same Mukunda Dutt who was a childhood friend of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said he was more attached to Mukunda's older brother, Vasudev. I wonder if that's the same. Hare Krishna.
Let's see. Yes, the person who would have known everything about this is the late Joseph O'Connell. He had an astonishing knowledge of who was who in Chaitanya Leela. He really was learned in that subject. But I don't know. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu Krishna Prabhu says Ekachakra is around 6 hours from Mayapur by bus. In addition to all these places at Ekachakra, one can visit the Gaudiya Math there. They serve at least 13 delicious preparations for prasadam. The deity Bankarai installed by Lord Nityananda, and then he puts a picture in the chat so you can see. Jai.
Right.
Thank you, Prabhu Krishna Prabhu. Maharaj, do you have others there who may like to continue reading?
Would you like to read? Here.
Thank you. 62, yes, Ashram Kriya.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Sankhya Bhaktar Kairala Avataram Seshava Tiruna Haila Prajenda Kumara. Go up now.
Yeah.
Go up.
You can just touch it on the right-hand side.
Lord Krishna, Virendra Kumar, first caused countless devotees to appear. And at last, he appeared himself. Prabhura Avirbhava Purve Yatra Vaishnava Gana. I'll start again. Prabhura Avirbhava Purve Yatra Vaishnava Gana Advaita Acharya Sthane Parena Gamana. Before the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the devotees of Navadvip used to gather in the house of Advaita Acharya. Gita Bhagavata Kahe Acharya Goswami Jnana Karma Nidhi Kare Bhakti Badari. In these meetings of the Vaishnavas, Advaita Acharya used to recite the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, decrying the paths of philosophical speculation and fruitive activity, and establishing super excellence of devotional service. Sarva Shastra Kahe Krishna Bhakti Ram Yakhana Vyakyana Jnana Yoga Tapo Dharma Nahi Mani Anam. In all the revealed scriptures of Vedic culture, devotional service to Lord Krishna is explained throughout. Therefore, devotees of Lord Krishna do not recognize the process of philosophical speculation, mystic yoga, unnecessary austerity, and so-called religious rituals. They do not accept any process but devotional service. Puppet by His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Our Krishna conscious movement follows. Our Krishna consciousness movement follows this principle. We do not recognize any method for spiritual realization other than Krishna consciousness, devotional service. Sometimes we are criticized by groups following jnana, yoga, tapas, or dharma, but fortunately, we are unable to make any compromises with them. We simply stand on the platform of devotional service and preach the same principles all over the world. Om Janti
Oh, you're speaking. Okay.
Sukshuramritame Tasmai Shri Guruvaya Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishnu Goswami Maharaj Namo Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Gurudas Yai Advaita Swami Maharaj Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pachari Nirvishesh Srimati Bhashti. What I understand here is that we don't follow any jnana, yoga, tapas, or dharma, but we just simply present what is supposed to be presented, and that is just bhakti yoga, devotional service, is the process by which you can help and enlighten others. So, Srila Prabhupada is, in my view, he's like Narad Muni of the Kali Yuga. And he's traveling all over the world just to present what is supposed to be presented in the Bhagavad Gita. That is at the end or even beginning or any of the chapters. Srila Prabhupada is mentioning that Bhakti Yoga is the simplest process, it's the best process. You don't need to go here or there, just follow the process. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared simply because he wanted to give the best process, and that was devotional service, Bhakti Yoga, to the lowest of the mankind. So he has given the highest prema, the highest love of Godhead, to the lowest type of people in the world. People who are less than Sudras. I think Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj, everyone says we are actually lower than the Sutras. So there's nobody here qualified, even as Sutras. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful. He's giving the highest love of Godhead, prema, to the lowest conditioned souls. So this is my opinion, just a suggestion over these last few verses that Bhakti Yoga is being emphasized, and it is the correct process to preach and to perform yourself. Well, first perform yourself properly, become qualified, and then hopefully Krishna will, through the mercy of Guru and Krishna, you can spread the holy name of the Lord. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. I'm Jyoti Prabhu. Probably, yeah, we just don't know how to compromise. Fortunately, we can't compromise with these parties. This was a hallmark of Prabhupada's teaching, Jnana Karmajanavrita. Vilashita. We don't place, we place zero value. We value Jnana and karma when they're as zero. When we're assigning values, we'll think this is the perfection of Jnana and karma. When we can mark them off as zero, we're done with them. The Prabhupada told His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj that my Guru Maharaj never compromised. I never compromised, nor should any of my disciples ever compromise. Compromise is sort of the way of the world these days. I'm okay, you're okay. And Prabhupada said our approach is I'm okay, you're not okay. And that may not be socially the most, what's the word, congenial approach to things. But that was Prabhupada's approach. He didn't give credit to, yes, Gyan, yes, karma, yes, they're doing something, yes. Rarely would he give them credit, rather all useless. And here the word is ninda. We're used to sadhu ninda, so on. Ninda means, like, well, those contexts, insulting. Here I think Prabhupada says decrying. So there are those who are proposing Jnana and karma, and the Dvaita Acharya and the Vaishnava Acharyas are insulting, or decrying, or belittling, or tossing out Jnana and karma as worthless. Jnana, karma, yoga, anything other than bhakti yoga, Anyavilashita Shunya. So this is our principle. We're not interested in just getting along, making friends with everyone. Yes, Swamiji, what you say is also nice. Prabhupada just didn't have that approach to things. There are many who do, but not Prabhupada. He was unsparing and uncompromising, and therefore attractive to those who want to see the thing as it is. Even we had a general in United States history, U.S. Grant, Ulysses S. Grant, but it was also said that the U.S. standard for unconditional surrender, because those were his terms in battle for defeated enemies, unconditional surrender. So that was Prabhupada's position also, unconditional surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And anything other than that, Jnana, karma, and so on, no, ninda, we treat it with, we treat it disparagingly. And devotees take pleasure in hearing Jnana, karma, and yoga, and so on, disparaged. If we like, it's such a thing these days. We want to see we want to get on the social media and so on, and hurl insults and so on. This is really the way to do it. Don't insult the Vaishnavas, but you have license to insult Jnana, karma, yoga, and anything else which is apart from, or especially antithetical to, devotional service, Mayavad. Get out there and start typing, have a field day, insult these methods as much as you like. It's and you're following in the footsteps of the Acharyas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. And thank you, Prabhu, very much. Saraswati Mata says, didn't Srila Prabhupada shut down the idea to name our movement International Society for God Consciousness? Compromise leads to diluting of absolute principles, but Srila Prabhupada made some concessions with regard to time and place, such as chanting rounds from the initial plan from 64 to 16.
Yes, that was there. And yes, God consciousness. no Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada insisted. So in practical matters, Prabhupada adjusted, but in terms of Siddhanta, no, uncompromising. And again, it's strange how people are willing to believe that on matters of philosophy that they find difficult, their adjustment is that Prabhupada compromised for the sake of people who couldn't accept what he was saying. Here, Prabhupada is very clear. I don't compromise, fortunately. I never compromise. That's his direct statement. So why do we think, how can we support the theory that really Prabhupada had one philosophy, but he taught another philosophy as a kind of a compromise, or, throw the kids a sop? It's just not, we're not talking about the same person. Prabhupada just didn't do that. Full stop. And therefore the theory is far-fetched.
Hare Krishna. This may just be a matter of semantics, but I did find it. I'm sorry, Maharaj, you had more to say.
I was interrupting you, but okay, I'll do it just to keep continuity of thought. In other instances, I'm willing to accept that this is a strategy. Bhaktivinoda Thakur adopts that strategy in what Krishna Samhita, and he tells you that this is what it is. I don't really accept it, but you can look at it this way if it helps you out. So we can accept it as a strategy, but it doesn't appear to have been Prabhupada's strategy. There's no evidence for that. He tells you his strategy here. I don't compromise. Hare Krishna. Yes, with apologies.
Oh, no, Maharaj, there's so much in the chat. But before I get there, I just wanted to, before I forget, the way Prabhupada presents this in the translation, devotees of Lord Krishna do not recognize the processes of jnana, yoga, etc. And of course, the word recognize can be seen in multiple ways. One is the sense it's most commonly used is that they don't give it any importance in the scheme of things. But the other way is that you just don't recognize it. Like if you look at it, but you don't see any, there's no cognition. You don't see it as anything at all. So when he's speaking of devotees, those who are actually in a relationship of loving service with the Lord, they see these other things and they just don't recognize them. Like, what is that? I don't, they don't, not only do they give it no credence, but they don't see it at all because they have that relationship, and that there's outside that relationship, they not only do they see no value in other processes of attempting to reach the supreme, but they just don't see it. I just can't see it.
I'm not sure that the Bengali etymology follows our English, but the point is valid.
Prabhin Krishna Prabhu shares the quote from Giriraj Maharaj. My stay in Madras was the first time I was really on my own in India, and I was trying to preach the same way I had heard Srila Prabhupada preach, declaring that Krishna was the Supreme Personality of Godhead and criticizing demigod worshippers and impersonalists. There were many impersonalists in Madras and many demigod worshippers too. I kept preaching as I had been. But then another friend, whose brother had offered to sponsor Srila Prabhupada's program in Madras, said the same thing. All right, you can worship Krishna, but don't say that Krishna is better than Shiva or Ganesh. You do bhakti, that's all right, but don't say that bhakti yoga is better than karma yoga or jnana yoga. Or later, when I thought about the encounter, I was confused. I wondered if maybe I hadn't been doing the wrong thing after all, but I still wasn't sure. When I got back to my room, there was a letter waiting for me from Srila Prabhupada. Receiving a letter from Prabhupada was always a great occasion. When I opened it, the words jumped off the page. The fact is that I am the only one in India who is openly criticizing not only impersonalism and demigod worship, but everything that falls short of complete surrender to Krishna. Prabhupada's words continued, my Guru Maharaj never compromised in his preaching, nor will I, nor should any of my students. We are firmly convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that all others are his part and parcel servants. This we must declare boldly to the whole world, that they should not foolishly dream of world peace unless they are prepared to surrender fully to Krishna as Supreme Lord. So I got my answer. Jai. Jai, Jai.
I remember that one Yogi Bhajan, a sort of new age chic teacher, came to visit Srila Prabhupada in Berkeley to invite him for a conference in which spiritual leaders would get together to promote peace. And Prabhupada said that they'll never have peace without Krishna consciousness. He said you can write it down in your notebook. They'll never have peace.
And Sati Mataji says, very nice. Hare Krishna. Getting close to the top of our hour, I was wondering if we can pause for kirtan, but wait, there's more. In the chat, Venkatesh Prabhu says, Hare Krishna Maharaj, what if we have friends and relatives currently following other paths than Bhakti Yoga? If they are not given some appreciation, they may not be able to appreciate Bhakti Yoga and Lord Krishna and be delivered.
Yes, we can appreciate them. You're such a nice person. Was that Prabodhananda Saraswati? The Praveen, I'm sure, will come up with the quote. He said, "You're bowing down at your feet thousands of times. You're taking a straw between my teeth. You're a great sadhu. Now please give up all your nonsense and surrender to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." So we can follow in his footsteps. We can give all appreciation to others and request them to give up their nonsense and surrender to Sri Chaitanya.
Jai. Thanks, Venkatesh Prabhu. Wondering if Swayam Jyoti Prabhu would like to lead another kirtan for us, or someone else would.
Thank you.
Swami Jyoti is going.
Jai. Oh, Maharaj, if you can put on the original sound, if that's possible.
Oh, yeah. Sure. Done.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paripaj Kacharya Ashtottara Sadashi Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Raj Prabhupada Ki Jai
Jai,
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai
Jai,
Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai
Jai,
Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai
Jai,
Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Navdeep Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you, Swayam Jyoti Prabhu. Ananta Shesha, you in a last comment at the end. It's good to ascertain our Siddhanta without compromise, without my way or the highway approach. If anyone wants to take it, they have to take it in the full strength, have to take in the full strength medicine.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Coming from a pharmacist, those are strong words. Thank you. And a special extra bonus thank you to the off-camera rhythm section for keeping things going for that kirtan. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Shri Caitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Holiness Jayādvaita Maharaj ki jai.
Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.